Yali ho. Good evening to one and all present over here. I, Shaurya Parekh, your host for today's session. I welcome you all here to this highly important session, especially for the students, as this session will detail about the impact of the COVID-19 on the students. Now I would like to introduce our speaker, Miss Padmi Dave and Miss Rakhi Thakur from Saurabh English School. It's an honor to be present here with our student speakers. Before we start our session, I would like to present a thought with all you all. Success is not a key of happiness. Happiness is the key of the success. If you all love what you are doing, you will be succeed. With this beautiful thought by the Abraham Lincoln, let's start our session with our today's topic, that is how the COVID has affected each and every student life. All our students who are watching these sessions can share their views about today's topics in the Facebook chat box. So let's begin. First of all, I would like to start our session with one short story. There was a 10th class student named Ramesh. He told that when COVID had just started, he was really happy as the schools and the colleges were closed, and he also told that he was enjoying that period of the time. But this one was just for 1 or 2 months. Now he got frustrated as he was completely locked in the home. And this situation is faced by each and every student. I knew my personal experience also, as I also had done many things in the pandemic period. I like to share with you all. Students like me have learned many things, like I have learned to cook and some stitching activities, and also I help to the poor persons by providing them the food and other useful things. This was an amazing period for me. The nature of our surrounding got a new life, and an interesting fact that I share with you is that Delhi, which is known as the polluted city, that we all know, but in this period, the data of the pollution report of the 2020 is so good as compared to its past year. In this period of the time, we got so many things to know and to learn. But there are disadvantages also, like COVID had destroyed student learning and thinking. The students are facing psychological problems, then how students were came to introduce by the technology like mobile phones and technological based machineries. We will discuss this all in this today's session. Now I like to call Miss Rakhi Thakur will tell us how the COVID has affected the life of the students on the basis of their learning scheme. Over to you, Rakhi.
Good evening to all of you. Myself Rakhi Thakur. I'm studying in Saurabh English School. Thank you, Shaurya, for giving me this opportunity. The current coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic is having a profound impact not only on people's health but also on students, how they learn, work, and live. Among the most important challenges created by COVID-19 is how to adopt a system of education built around physical schools. Schools closures have a very real impact on all students, children, and youth from low income and single parent families, immigrant, refugees, ethnic minority, and indigenous backgrounds with diverse gender identities and school and sexual orientations, and those with special education needs suffer by being deprived of physical learning opportunities, social and emotional support available in schools, and extra services such as school meals. They risk falling further behind and becoming isolated. With school doors closed, these students are likely to lose the most in terms of educational outcomes, and the support provided by schools of countries take insufficient measures to promote educational equity and inclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rakhi Thakur, for sharing your beautiful thought with us. and to help the student to overcome their fear of the destructive pandemic. Now Ms. Padmi Dave will let us what are the psychological problems faced by the student during this period of the pandemic COVID-19.
Good evening, all of you. My name is Dave Padmi from Saurabh English School. Thank you, Shaurya, for giving us the opportunity. It, it has been reported that the most common psychology and behavior problems among children and teenager in the pandemic were clingy, distraction, and fear of asking questions about the pandemic. The risk is greatly greatly increased in those with pre-existing mental health conditions. COVID-19 pandemic and lockdown lockdown has about to globe. This phenomena has led to short-term as well as long-term psychological and mental health for for children and teenagers. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, Padmi Dave. Will let us now. Miss Rakhi Thakur will tell us how the student came to introduce by the mechanical gadgets like the mobile phone, laptops, and etc., and how it affect the students' learning and progress.
The idea of using digital technologies to teach students from homes was introduced to continue with education and overcome mental stress and anxiety. The lockdown was imposed on March 24 for 21 days. Unlocked phases in India began June 1 onwards. All educational institutions were closed to promote the need for school distancing, social distancing, aggravating the impact on education. Schools and educational institutes have remained closed even after the unlock phases to ensure the safety of students, teachers, and their families. The United Nations, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization (UNESCO) responded to the school closures by issuing several recommendations. It called for the use of social it called for the use of distance learning programs, open educational platforms that schools and teachers can use to reach learners remotely and limit the disruption of education. The COVID-19 pandemic resulted in a digital revolution in the higher education system through online lectures, tech, teleconferencing, digital open books, online examination, and interaction in virtual environments. University faculties are setting up accounts on online video conferencing platforms, from Zoom video communications, Skype, and Google LLC, among others, to engage with students. Thank you.
Thank you, Rakhi. Now we all know that if there is any disadvantage, then there is some advantage also. So I like Miss Padmi Dave to tell us the advantage that student got during the lockdown period.
The pollution level has the pollution level has reduced. Many rivers have become clean. Mountains like the great Great Himalayas can now be seen from long distance. We can also fulfill our hobbies time like cooking. We can
Okay, thank you Padmi Dave. Now I requested our both speaker to share their own experience that what you both have done in this period of the time? I think there is a network issue from the Padmi Dave. You can continue, Rakhi.
Okay, there is an old saying there is good in every evil that I will know. Use a tiny consolation in this difficult, unaccepted time. As a student, believe me, it is hard dealing with this situation, and to everyone who is watching this and feeling helpless, I just want to tell you that you are not alone and it will be better. I will aware of everything that has been taken away from us due to this situation of all the unrealized plans, be it birthdays, travels, weddings, and sadly, we cannot do anything about it. But we are not powerless. I can single out isolation, staying at home, as one of the most important measures. I knew it sounds difficult, and believe me, at first this sounded impossible to me, just unfeasible. I found it hard and boring. I wasn't used to sitting in the same closed place for so long, but over time I started to find hobbies. I tried things I had never tried before. I spent a lot more time with my parents than than before, and even though I had the time to watch the TV series and read books. This is my experience done in the pandemic. Thank you.
Oh, this was so amazing, Padmi. This was so amazing, Rakhi. Now I requested to Padmi to to share their experience that what they have done in this pandemic period. Over to you, Padmi.
During this period, I enjoy a lot with family. Grandma, I learned to cook many dishes. I did many drawing. Many projects were given by my teacher. Did I each and every project, and I thank you.
Thank you both of you to sharing your experience with us. It's been an honor to be among such accomplished individuals and to be able to present my perspective before you all. Now, I have a question with you all, those who are watching this session. You all will be confused that why I am asking the question to you, but you have to answer me. That what things you came to know or you have learned in this period of the pandemic, and you have to drop your answer in the chat box of the Facebook. I will be waiting for your answer. Till then, thank you everyone to be present here with us. Please be safe at your place and be healthy. Stay home, stay safe.